Hi everyone, so I'm just coming on here to talk about orbs, which is really exciting. So orbs is something that I always used to see when I was a little girl right up to now, and my parents used to see the green orbs that were in Rendlesham floating around the garden spaces, and I'm really excited with what the government has on now about the orbs, all the information that's come through. I want to tell you about how the orbs visit me and what they look like and how absolutely amazing it is when they come into the room. And there's thousands of them, so I've got all this footage that I can show you. So this first video is about the orbs kind of getting my attention. This is how it usually works. So there's thousands of orbs in this video that come in, and you can see they're kind of like tadpoles. They're kind of like moving around, and there's thousands of them. You know, this is in my bedroom in Scotland, and they're kind of like dancing away, and it's absolutely amazing to see. And, you know, people joke and say it's dust particles. There's thousands of them. Look at them. Look at the tails and look at how they're moving and look how excited they are, you know. This is what usually happens. So when my beings come through, my galactic beings, they come through after these orbs come in. So the orbs are kind of like the start of it. And then I have this rainbow light that comes through. And when the rainbow light comes through, then the manifestation happens of the orbs turning into faces, and they manifest, and it's beautiful, as you can see by the pictures. And I used to be terrified, you know, of ghost stories and, you know, aliens coming in and that kind of stuff, but this is light, and how can you be scared of light? So this is how I first saw the orbs. They would come in, they'd be beautiful, you know, you'd capture them on camera, and sometimes like you'd see faces in them, beautiful colours and absolutely gorgeous. They come in many different colours. So the clear orbs come through, the rainbow light comes in, and then the faces manifest into physicality, like a hologram. And then also I get the colours of blue, like blue spots of light, golden orange spots of light that are in my home as well, and that is amazing too. So whenever I see those colours, I kind of wave, I speak, and because I feel comfortable in that kind of, yeah, just being in their presence, I feel comfortable being in their presence, then I say, show yourself to me. But through the camera, when I've got the camera, because my eyes can't physically see what they're manifesting into, so I use the camera on my phone and the images come up in the camera. So this exact camera that I had could do that, and you can see the faces forming. You can see such into detail of nostrils, eye sockets, you know, a chin. So it was amazing that you could see that. And then what started happening was, it was mostly when I was in Scotland. So it was a place where I lived on my own. I would do my sessions there, and the energy of that place I kept to a high frequency, you know, so it was me just living there. The visitors that I had were clients, and, you know, I just had that frequency right so that the energy could come in. And I had two portals. So I had a portal in my bedroom, and I also had a portal in the living room, which would go through the hallway. So you'd get all the sun would shine in, and the sun is very important. So the sun kind of like, they travel through the sun rays, and then through the sun rays these orbs appear, and you can see in all these videos that I have of how that works. And it's like beautiful, because I have this video about this burst of golden light, and in that golden light it has all kind of different colours, like greens and pinks and that kind of stuff. And I just relate that to Christ consciousness, you know, the golden light of Christ light, I relate it to Christ light. And then again it would just manifest into faces and everything. So that drew my attention to the window that was in the living room. So I would sit there at night time, I'd have my candles on. I quite like sitting in the dark, I don't like the big lights on. And there used to be this, I think it was a star, that would appear there in the night sky. But it was really weird because it didn't kind of move or anything, which you think a star would. And I was on the phone to my mum one day, and I was just staring out at this beautiful, what I thought was a star. And I could kind of seeing it like twisting and turning and, you know, kind of moving, and it was like all in these different colours. And I was thinking, this can't be a star, surely. So then after I finished my phone call with my mum, then I got my camera, and this was great. This phone camera could zoom into the craters of the moon. It was very good. So I zoomed in to like the biggest part that I could of this lens, and then it was moving, it was twisting and turning and morphing, and you know, it was different colors, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, that is not a star, that's not a star. And I got really excited and I was like, hello. That was my visitor. You know, I had a visitor that came and saw me, and that was really cool, and I really didn't know what it was, but you know, with all the information that's come out with the orbs, you know, they're talking about plasma and that kind of stuff. And I always used to tell people that when they were looking out for UFOs, I was in contact with the Scottish Paranormal investigation team and really good friends with a few of the members. And, you know, I'd say to the guys, don't always look up in the sky for a metal craft. You know, why would they have a metal craft if they're advanced? Why would they travel all these light years in a metal craft when they could just zap, you know, across time and space, not in physicality? You know, I said, what about light beings? Because the beings that I saw were light. So why can't ships be light too? You know, and just to see that, you know, your question is, number one, is it a ship? Is it a craft? Or two, is it its own being? You know, that's what's really exciting, and that's what kind of people are taking seriously right now, because when you see the orbs, you know, all the videos that have come out from the government, and you see like this main orb and then other orbs coming out of it or going into it, and it's really exciting. You're thinking, oh my gosh, you know, what I thought was maybe a star in the sky really isn't. You know, and if you look at these pictures and if you look at these videos, you know, it's really good evidence. I mean, something that we never really thought about, you know, that there could be orbs, and, you know, what happened in New Jersey with all the orbs and the drones, you know, that would fly over. It's all very exciting. It's very cool, and don't forget about it. You know, that's part of our history now. That's the start of it, isn't it? So don't forget, remember all that stuff. Go back and watch those videos. Go and look at those photos, you know, that people took. Go and hear their stories. You know, just believe it. Believe it's true, because it really, really is, and it's a people's disclosure. So share it with everyone. And this is really exciting, isn't it, guys? So I just wanted to share that with you, and yeah, just be open, be excited, and this is wonderful. And don't worry about, you know, government holding all the information. You hold the information too. So just enjoy the moment.